Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is the fourth video in our first unit on EDA. In this video, we're going to be talking about Boolean arrays and Boolean indexing in NumPy. If you are a current Math 10 student, you probably know that one of our first student learning outcomes is being able to apply Boolean indexing to solve all kinds of problems. And kind of why am I showing you this in NumPy? Well, it's because I first want to introduce the concepts with something that's a little bit familiar so that when we get to pandas, the ideas kind of click a lot faster. So if you understand Boolean indexing with NumPy, when we get to pandas, it'll be exactly the same. So all of that to say, I'm going to show you some examples that might be familiar if you took Math 9 recently. Otherwise, you can learn this as, or you can kind of use this as first glance at Boolean indexing. So really try to understand all of these sample examples that I have written here. So let's take a look at this block of code that I have. I've imported NumPy. I've instantiated a random number generator object, and I've set ARR to be a random length 10 NumPy array of integers going from 0 inclusive to 7 exclusive. If I wanted to take a look at ARR, here's what it looks like. So it's 4, 4, 2, 1, and so on. And our first question is asking to make a Boolean array indicating where ARR is equal to 2. So as a reminder, the way we do that is I say ARR and ask where is this equal to 2? And again, to check if it's equality, I use two equal signs. So I run this and it's saying false, false. So it's saying 4 is not 2, 4 is not 2, 2 is equal to 2, so that's returned true. And then 2 doesn't appear anywhere else in this array, so we have false everywhere else. Next, it's asking, well, how can we count how many of these entries are equal to 2? So we've already seen how to do this. We saw ARR double equals 2, and I can take the sum of this. So this is using the built-in Python function sum, and it's saying there is one element that's equal to 2, which we could see from up here. One other way we could do this is by using the NumPy method .sum. So what I mean by that is I could have ARR equal to 2 and do .sum. And you might be wondering, well, what's the difference between this sum and this one? So this first one here is an example of a built-in function in Python. So it doesn't require any external libraries or modules. It just comes with Python. Versus this .sum here is an example of what's called a method. So methods are types of functions in Python, but they're attached to specific objects. So here, .sum is attached to a NumPy array. So for example, if I did type ARR equal to 2, we can see that this is an n-dimensional NumPy array. So typically methods and attributes, these come after the object, in this case the NumPy array, and they're accessed using this period. Very good. So now we've said, okay, how many of the entries are equal to 2? Maybe one other thing I can kind of point out here, this is a pretty simple example, but it's common to be doing examples with Boolean indexing where it's a little bit more complicated, a lot more things are going on. So one thing that we can do is split up the problem along the way. It can make your code a little bit more readable. So what I mean by that is I can define an intermediate step and call it something like BA for Boolean array. And I can say, well, let this be ARR equal to 2. I can check the type of BA, and we see it's still an n-dimensional NumPy array. And then now I could even define my variable count, let's say, and this could be BA.sum. And then if we look at count, oops, we can see count is equal to 1. So again, a couple different ways of doing the same thing. Next on the list is make a Boolean array indicating where ARR is strictly less than 2 or where it's greater than or equal to 4. So let's remind ourselves what ARR looks like. So let's see, we want greater than or equal to 4 or strictly less than 2. So here I have 4, 4, keep that. Strictly less than 2, throw this away. Keep 1, keep 5, 6, 5 again. Throw out 0, 1, 0. So one way that we could check, oops, come on, it's not letting me put a cell below. So let's try it like this. Let's put a code cell. So I could say ARR strictly less than 2, And I can see here it's saying false, 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 true, and then these last three are all true. Similarly, I could say, oops, and my keyboard shortcuts were temporarily not working. We could say, where is it greater than or equal to 4? So ARR greater than or equal to 4. And we can see here, we have 4, 4, that's true, true. 5 and 6 count. Basically, the opposite of what we got here, but also not 2. Very good. So how do we actually combine these now? So we want the elements that are strictly less than 2 or greater than or equal to 4. So this is a good reminder of how we do logical operations in NumPy. So remember, instead of typing out the words and, or, and not like we would in base Python, we're going to use the symbols. So ampersand, the vertical bar, which is sometimes called pipe, and tilde for negation. When we introduce pandas, it's going to use the same convention as NumPy. So we use the symbols, not the typed out words. So for example, I want ARR strictly less than 2, or I want ARR greater than or equal to 4. So notice it's returning true everywhere except for where it's exactly equal to 2, which happens here. And let's see, this one just wanted the Boolean array, so that's good. Notice if I did it with or, what would happen? So I'll copy paste this block. So what if I typed out the word or? Notice here we get an error. So we really do need to use the symbol, so the vertical bar for or. I know sometimes in base Python, if you type out the symbol and not the word, it can work. But this is one example where we do need to be careful because it will make a big difference. Next on the list, use Boolean indexing to get the subarray of ARR containing values which are strictly less than 2 or greater than or equal to 4. So this is the same condition as what we did up here. So I'm going to be using this piece of code, but now we just want to return the values. So I don't want just true, true, false. I want to know, okay, well, it's true. What was that number? Well, it was 4, 4, and then I want 1, 5, 6, 5, blah, blah, blah. So the way we do that is we say ARR, then square brackets, and we paste our condition. So here, exactly what we expected, everything except 2 in this case. Very good. Next up, use seed equal 100, and we're going to make a 10 by 3 NumPy array called ARR2. This is going to be random integers between 0 inclusive and 5 exclusive. So again, this is a good reminder of one, how to use seeded random numbers, and also making NumPy arrays with more than one dimension. So let's see, I'm going to say RNG equals NumPy NP dot default. Oops, or what am I missing? It should be random dot default underscore RNG seed equals 100. So if you run this at home, if you code along, you're going to get the same numbers. I'm going to say ARR2 equals RNG.integers. I want to go from 0 to 5, and now I want the size. Now, this is where it's super common to make a mistake. For more than one dimension, I need to pass a tuple. So here I want 10 rows, 3 columns. And there it goes, no error. Let's take a look at ARR2. Here it is. So first row is 340, then we have 201. So looking good so far. So, okay, we did that. If you run this code at home, again, you should get exactly the same numbers because we're using seed equal 100. Next up, we want to define a variable call for column to be the index 0 column of ARR2. This is a good time to remind you that indexing in Python starts at 0. So this is unlike MATLAB, which starts at 1. So this is column kind of going vertically up and down, 0, 1, 2. This is row 0, 1, 2, 3, up until 9. So, okay, index 0 column. How do we get that? We say ARR. The colon tells me get all of the rows. Then I specify, well, which column. I want the 0th column. Oops, and it's saying here. And what does anybody see what I did wrong? ARR is what we had defined previously, our one-dimensional array. The two-dimensional one is ARR2. So I run it, and here, that's exactly the first column, right? 3, 2, 2, 4, 2, 4, blah, blah, blah. Excellent. Maybe I could ask you, well, what's the difference between what we just wrote and something like this? So, oops, ARR2. What if I split up the colon and 0 in two different sets of brackets? So this is going to return something probably different than you'd expect. So let's kind of break it up and see what's happening. When I say ARR2 of colon, this is telling me take all of the rows. So maybe even I'll put that as a comment. And then it's saying take the 0th element of this. So take the top row. So then notice if I do ARR2 0, well, what's the top row? That's 340, and that's what we got here. So again, maybe you'd think that these give the same thing, but there is this subtle difference. So again, this first one is saying take all of the rows in the 0th column. And this one's saying of all of the rows, give me the first one. One other thing we could do, let's say instead I asked you to get the last column. So here it's easy enough to say this is index 0, 1, 2. So I could say ARR2 of take all rows, give me the second column. But this isn't as Pythonic as it could be, right? Because if ARR2 changes at all, well then I'd have to change this number as well. So the better way of doing it is with -1. That tells me get the last column. So we can see here, same result, just a little bit more robustly, right? Now if ARR2 changes, this code will still work. Excellent. Last question is saying get the subarray of ARR2 of all rows which begin with the number 2. So as a reminder, here's what ARR2 looks like. And remember, we defined column. Oops, I didn't define column. This should be column. All right, now we have column defined. So here's column. So notice this is telling me the first entry of every row. So now I want the subarray of all rows which begin with 2. That's the same as asking where in column is it equal to 2. So I can say column equal to 2. And it's saying this row doesn't start with 2. This row does, this row does, this row does, and this row does. So then to get those rows, I just say ARR2 of where is column equal to 2. And we can see here there's 4 rows in ARR2 that begin with the number 2. All right, I think this is a good place to stop. In the next video, we'll do a slightly more difficult example with Boolean arrays and Boolean indexing. Thanks for your attention, and I'll see you there.